As a fellow film student, I don't need to tell you why we love watching movies and why we love making movies. It's just part of who we are. But today, we have a lot of movies that rely on big budgets to bring in audiences. But conversely, it's also a time where amateur filmmaking is going places we've never gone before. So let's talk about that. The clip I'm going to show you is real cinema. You don't need a big budget to make a good movie. All you need is some ingenuity and resourcefulness. And if you don't have those qualities, well, I'm glad that you're here. You know, in the last year or so, I've gained such an appreciation for the people behind the scenes, cameramen, sound coordinators, everything. They're the MVPs, and I want to show you why. This is Adaptation. It's a 2002 movie starring Nicolas Cage as himself and his twin brother. Yeah, it's as weird as you think it is. But it's also my main inspiration for the movie I'm making today. Yeah, I don't know why. Alright, so brainstorming. Do I want to go old-fashioned or... You know what? Let's talk about the mood board today. Filmmaking is all about perseverance and imagination, and a mood board is going to make sure that you organize all your thoughts and keep at least a little bit of sanity before you go over the deep edge. With the right site, you can put anything in it. I used Milanote, and it's been amazing. Alright, I'll be the first to admit, I'm no Charlie Kaufman. But the bread and butter of amateur filmmakers is the script. Without that, you don't have anything. Some of the most original ideas in Hollywood come from movies that have a very low budget. As a film student, I'm really happy that more people have taken interest in filmmaking during the pandemic. For you new writers out there, just remember, it's okay to make mistakes. When you're writing a script, just let the words come to you, and if they don't, take your time, you got no rush. All you need is paper or computer, nothing else. Yeah, filmmaking is always a little tricky, and especially when you're an amateur filmmaker. If you're an amateur, it's most likely very difficult to get a decent budget. Alright, so what's our budget? $1 freaking dollar. That's it, $1. Luckily, if you have a tripod and, well, pretty much any decent phone, you should be good for your filming. And hey, warm up before you start. Some of us like to get in front of the camera, and some of us behind it, but whatever you do, there will always be a role for you in Hollywood. And if not, fight for a role. If you have a good idea, then show it to the world, film it. If you have a decent camera, nothing stops you from going out there and filming a decent picture. Not all movies are going to need special effects, especially at the amateur level. They can help, especially when your imagination doesn't match your budget. Adobe After Effects is the best tool when you're on a tight budget. You can use tools like Rotobrush to create some stunning visuals. Many people either don't know or are too afraid to discover Adobe After Effects. And it's a shame because, well, the sky's the limit. You want to juxtapose Luke Skywalker onto footage from World War II? Well, you know what? You can kind of do that. You only get better with Adobe After Effects with time, and it's like that for many of the tools in the video. It may be cliche, but experience really is the best teacher. I'm really happy that a tool like After Effects is widely available to the public because it gives amateur filmmakers the chance to create their very own Jurassic Park. And if you love movies like I do, well, that's a beautiful thing. Editing is absolutely critical to the final result, so it's very important that you never rush the editing. Luckily, there's a really good tool to make sure you don't screw it up. It's iMovie, or whatever the equivalent is if you're from Samsung. You can do a lot of things in the app to make sure that your final movie is as good as possible. You can play with length, time, audio, captions, and other things to make sure that your movie is perfect. And the app is good, I love it. And yeah, it's somehow pretty good on your phone. Easily, the best part of the filmmaking process is watching your efforts bearing fruit. If you're an amateur, you really get a respect for the people behind the camera. They worked their ass off, and now you know what that's like. Now you know what it's like to take full advantage of the tools around you. And maybe, just maybe, you realized that you have a voice.